Well, let me tell you a little something about me. When it's Saturday night, I need to blow off some steam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I've been rolling in since the clock came Monday morning. From the end of the week, I'm bound to blow. We're walking to the honky tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order up around the drops and it's away we go.
I did it.
Troy was early.
I swear that's never happened before.
Okay. Are we ready?
We are.
Okay. Again, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Equipment Talk from IRAY. And I'm Ray Henry. They call me the Colonel.
Troy Henry, President Brad.
Logan.
Jordan.
All right. All the gang's here, I'll tell you. Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everybody that is actually out there in the podcast watching world, and they're enjoying some of the things that we have to talk about. You know, there's a lot of interesting things out there, and we just figured we'd love sharing it, and I guess that's what we're going to do today. So I think we'll throw it back over to Logan. Logan, why don't you start us out here today? I don't want to give Jordan all the glory.
I lost the privilege.
Today.
All right. Well, first thing that we see here is Steel Wrist launches a new tilt rotator for excavators up to 2.5 tons.
Yeah, anybody knows what 2.5 ton equals in pounds?
4,500 pounds, something like that.
5,000 pounds.
It's right at 5,000 pounds. Right on, boy. I tell you what, you've been doing your homework, hadn't you?
Yeah.
But just think on that size of an excavator, it's nice, light. I mean, they're not too terribly bad because what weighs 5,000 pounds that's comparable that you'd put on a trailer? Anybody know?
Car.
Car's gonna be a little less than 5,000 pounds, but you know, if you get a truck, you can get usually somewhere's around that 5,000 pounds. If it's a bigger truck, it's gonna get heavier, of course. If it's 4-door and long box and 1 ton, 3/4 ton, just kind of giving an idea what size or for weight category, you know. And so, what are they saying about this new steel wrist launch that they're doing on this excavator's attachment? What are they saying about that?
You know, I don't know really enough about these things because it's not like it's picking up anything. It's more like it's just designed for excavators that support that amount of weight, right? And, you know, it says here it's got an optimized range of work tools such as grading, digging, cable trenching, asphalt cutting and ripping. Basically turns your excavator into a versatile tool carrier that can do a wide range of applications.
Yeah, it's like a quick attach, right? And you know, they say that
A multi-tool.
yeah, it's a multi heavy duty though. You know, it's going to take some pressure. This thing's going to take a little bit of you know, if you start talking about, you know, ripping up asphalt or, you know, putting pressure to something, this thing's going to take a little pressure because, you know, that hydraulic arm's got some weight to, you know, it's really got some torque to it. So they're heavy duty. But this thing will rotate it. It says right here it's called the XO2. Kind of a cool deal, huh? It's a maxi carry or carriage.
Yeah. It's an interesting looking tool to be able to. Yeah, I'm trying to grasp it better. I was reading through it and I just.
Slap on a bunch of different.
Yeah. Just kind of what it does to that smaller excavator. Just kind of wow. It just opens it up for everything.
Remember, they say that it's made specifically for excavators below 2.5 tons, but it still works on 2.5 tons, 4-ton excavators pretty nicely, they say.
Pardon my ignorance.
4,000 pound, you mean?
That's what Steel Wrist is like known for.
Probably their company name is called Steel Wrist, so.
Well, I think the wrist part is, you know, if you think about it, your wrist turns back and forth, and then it bends forward and back. You know what I mean? And or side to side. So it gives it more versatility when you pull out your arm for an excavator, and you can tilt it whatever which way you want. So it's going to give it a lot more versatility for the tools that you're using, and maybe for some of the slopes that that you might be grooming, or even because it says that you could be cutting into asphalt, and it could be on curbs or whatever, right? And then also, if you were looking at it for maybe even doing some land leveling or something, so you wouldn't have to bring a skid steer in, or another piece of equipment, that you could use that. So there's a lot of great features to that unit, I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
I
Go
checked
ahead,
out their
Jordan. Sorry.
website, and they specialize in accessories
Accessories, yeah.
for your excavators. Yeah.
So they're basically telling you that they're building a swivel so you can put more stuff on it that will build for you, right?
Well, I think they're. I'm looking through different sites on them too, and it looks like a lot of the stuff that they do has to do a lot with demolition, and I think that they're trying to get and move away from that a little bit to be able to broaden their horizon, trying to make those smaller machines be able to do that work inside of a smaller location. Still have to have those capabilities.
Like a mining tunnel, for instance. Maybe they try to be more like Komatsu, who's acquiring mine site technologies to expand underground mining technologies that are available.
Yeah, well, Komatsu, they try to lead in technology. I mean, they build more stuff than you think. I've actually I was over at a pipeline corporation that they do pipeline work, and they actually bought a ball that was built by Komatsu that would actually grind tunnels, and it had little wheels all the way around this thing. So they've been in that technology for a while. So when you see the mining, you see a round hole like that. It's usually a some type of a grinder, or uh, a head. Yeah, it's like an earthworm, but they're a little different. They don't drill it like you see on cartoons and stuff with the big drill going down. It's actually a big ball that has a lot of wheels on it that pull the dirt in, and it drops it down into the center, and then it conveyors it out, so they can hook as much stuff on it and keep conveying it out as far as they want to. So it's kind of cool, but it's a whole different mindset. Now, when they talk about the GPSing underground, that's a different way of thinking about it too. Just think you're getting a signal underground, right?
Somehow you're drawing a signal through stone.
Well, also, I mean, you got to think of this as, like GPS is basically, in the way we look at it, like 2D, right? Like where they're at on a map, not how high they are or low they are in a map. And that's like a whole new level of certainly they got to be thinking about that stuff. They're going to be doing underground autonomy like that. They got to know how deep something is, right, or how deep it's going, or stuff like that. So I think there's already a lot of technology available for the mining industry, and manufacturers like Komatsu getting into the game only make it feel like it's going to get crazier. You know, I wouldn't be surprised sometime in the future when we have the threat of like it getting hot outside, they're just going to start building whole underground cities.
Yeah, as long as they're not close to a volcano,
I certainly hope
huh?
not. Or a geyser that floods the whole city.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
kind of think that Komatsu is also trying to address another issue of how everything has been drawn towards safety. Which, don't get me wrong, safety is important, but when you're looking at watching safety, you lose production. So they're kind of gearing up to be able to put everything into automation so that you don't have people there. Your safety risks are gone.
Well,
To pay those OSHA fines.
That'd be big ones too.
well,
And
and
that's mainly what they want to do is they want to boost the safety of a mine, which is already by nature very unsafe, um, and just make all that stuff better with better technology.
that's exactly right.
I quote here: the solutions contribute to the digitization and optimization of underground mining operations.
Yeah, exactly. So all they're trying to do is just like you said, they're trying to make it safer. They're trying to make it so that they can actually program it to do what they need it to do, because then it's more accurate, right? And you don't have to do it twice or go back. I've seen some guys that they start digging holes or something like that, and all of a sudden they get to the other end and they come together where they're going to put pipe on it, and here they're 3 or 4 feet. Or they're 1 foot or 2 foot off to one side, or too low or too high. And with the right technology, you would take away that room for error. And they say that when people do it, they usually do it 2 to 3 times to get it right. When you do with technology, you put it in once, and it's once and done. So that's kind of a cool deal, and
Yeah.
that's
There's a lot of interesting Komatsu news coming out. I mean,
Yeah.
these aren't. We didn't really plan to talk about some of this stuff, but I'm just gonna read some headlines here. One here says Komatsu introduces a 400-ton electric drive rear dump truck, which is a huge, those big dump trucks that you usually think about on job sites that are, the
well.
wheels are bigger than like twice as big as a car.
So
Another headline says Komatsu's developing digital technology to run construction equipment in space.
in space, yeah, right.
In space.
And then we covered
Uh,
that in that micro excavator a
yeah,
few
we
weeks
already know
ago.
about that. Yeah, we covered
Yeah.
the electric micro excavator. So I mean, it seems like Komatsu's they're doing a lot of stuff right now to
Look
make
at their
themselves
stock
big
price
players in the game.
roughly.
They took their stock public. Did you say?
I look at their
But
prices. I bet they're pretty high.
Well,
They're
that's
talking about some crazy stuff. Which, since we're talking about electric stuff, perfect little segue into what we did want to talk about, which is um, LeBaire to showcase battery powered equipment, hydrogen engine, and digital solutions at Bauma 2022, which is
Expo.
it's like an expo. They it says here they're going to have over 70 exhibits that include new products and developments in the areas of construction,
Yeah.
construction machine, cranes, material handling technology, mining, and components, which is huge. Which I personally I find the hydrogen engine the most interesting thing. And obviously, we know what battery powered equipment is, what that's all about. But a hydrogen engine,
they've been a thing before. We've talked about it on the pod.
I used to actually. I played with hydrogen, using it as a fuel source in my past. That it's electrolysis. I guess, you ever heard of they said, well, if you drop something electrical inside of a tub or something like that, you're going to get a shock. Well, if you sent those shocks through that water, it actually changes um, the positive to a negative in the protons and neutrons in the water. But anyways, what it does is it will change the structure, so you'll get hydrogen coming off water, because water is H2O, right? So when you start taking water and you take electrolysis and you run it through it, and it's sparking back and forth under the water, it's actually changing the atoms, so you're getting a positive and a negative. And there's typically, when you split an atom, you're actually going to change it to the negative, and then you're going to have more negatives than positives floating around, which actually in return it splits off the gases out of the water. So your H2O turns into oxygen hydrogen, and you can burn it because it'll support itself that way. And that's why they're saying that up here in the north, if our waters froze, it's pretty hard to use electrolysis.
Pun intended or unintended?
So
yeah, I mean, it says down here. I mean, they're going to be trying to use it for medium and heavy duty machines, as well as large engines with 7 to 100 liter capacities. It's a big engine.
The cost of water's going up, boys.
yeah, and just think about it. Water is, I mean, it's a source that we need, right? We're how many percent water within the human body? And if you think about atomic scale, what's the highest gas on atomic scale? Which would be hydrogen, right? And if you start taking it out of the water, you got more power. You've got a lot more things that you can utilize to drive that force for that piston to go up and down, and or that engine to run. So it's a force to reckon with. It's actually got a lot of things going for it. Now, there's also some other things that go away from that. So when you start taking water and you start running it through, And let's say that it comes out of suspension, so the oxygen, hydrogen come back together, turns into droplets again. Then you have it where you can have an iron oxide, where if you're using iron and you run it through, you're going to get some corrosion coming from that too. So those are things you got to think about. That's why they use lubricants such as oil or other types of slippery based substances to make the iron or the engine not to rust, and that's why fuel, if you're using gasoline or diesel, it's an oil product, right? And they kind of lubricate the engine as they go through as well, you know. So there's a lot of cool things there, But LeBaire has been around for quite some time, and just think, having 70 exhibits. You got to have a lot of stuff going on to have 70 exhibits, and I'll guarantee those exhibits cost them, per exhibit, depending upon how many spaces they've got. But they're over $1,000 a pop, I would say for sure, wouldn't you? You've
Oh,
been doing some trade shows,
you
right,
mean
Troy?
just to hold that spot? Yeah, that has zero to do with the amazing pieces of machinery that they bring there and all the time and money that they have dumped into that. But yeah, I mean, just to hold that booth spot is a grand, which I'll guarantee you is a drop in the bucket compared to the booth cost there.
Yeah. So
They sell the most expensive piece of machinery.
they
Yeah.
sell the most expensive.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most expensive? Was it that
Probably
It's
that
that
big wheel thing.
yeah,
The
wheel shovel.
the wheel excavator, wheel shovel? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We kind of went into that one time too, didn't we?
It's also the
You
large.
guys heard of?
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. We'd already
I
said
was
it
gonna
before.
say, do you guys heard of Mama?
Mama.
Mama.
Oh, Obama.
Mama.
Oh, the
Obama.
convention. No,
Yeah.
Exhibit.
Yeah, the actual exhibit.
I hadn't heard of that convention.
convention.
No.
Yeah, I've heard of it many times. It started, actually. I think it starts overseas. That convention is, and it is for a world market. So it's to market it through the bigger companies, such as dealers are looking for to help represent the product that's coming out, and that's what the manufacturers are looking for. And if they get so many dealers that are willing to, put their hats in the ring, hey, they say, okay, then we're going to make this a product line that we can actually distribute to you, and here's what the requirements are. So that's what they're looking for. They're looking not only to show off their products to the world, but they're looking to show off their products to dealers that can see the inside of what they can do with that product to remarket it to the industry. So it's kind of cool. I mean, there's some things that are real specialized that you might only sell 2, 3 of them, in a lifetime, but you know how many millions they're worth. So you don't have to sell as many, right?
I can't
Yeah,
read
really,
German.
a lot of the convention is about you know battery powered stuff. I mean, there's another related article down here, which is a little bit unrelated, but it says that Cat steps back from Bauma and Zeppelin takes on the stand, which is if Cat is stepping down from taking up the hot seat, surely times are changing.
Well, the
I
one
was-
thing you got to think about
We talked
Caterpillar
about
is
that
is that
last week.
is
Last week.
there's a lot of dealers. Okay, so we with just some of the things that we're doing, and we do trade shows and stuff, right? So there's a truck trade show that usually is every year, and it's usually down in where is it out of? I was thinking Louisiana or out in that area, Chicago. They'll have it. They'll have it in different areas,
You mean like
Indiana and
the
stuff like
SEMA,
that.
you mean?
What's that?
Talking you said semis, sorry.
For
Oh, not
semis.
SEMA.
It's semi trucks and trailers and stuff like that. But they do these trade shows. But right now the dealers, they all opt out this year because they don't have any product to sell. So now when you start talking about going and doing this trade show, this one here is basically to plan out for 4 to 5 years. And they have it usually it was every other year is what they were having this trade show to get more dealers and to keep expanding their manufacturing abilities, I guess, for different types of products. But just think about this though. Now they're going to have a worldwide trade show. Now, where's the pandemic? Where's that coming into this? What are they going to have to do this with so many different countries? And if they're having it in China, well, China shut down for, wasn't it a month here now just lately?
Well, I don't know what their restriction, what status they're at right at this moment. I haven't looked at that, but I do know that for a while they were on. It took you were on lockdown for a month.
Yeah, China was. They first one side of the river they shut down, and then they gave the other side like a week or something like that, or two, and they shut down the other side. So I know that they were shut down on both sides for like 30 days or a month, so that they could keep this under control.
Containment. Yeah, I don't. It's an interesting idea. I mean, I hope that it goes well with that the mindset that's held within that area. Um,
I think they got a lot of things that they're up against though as well.
yeah,
You know,
That's why Cat stepped back.
well,
that could very well be.
Cat probably did the research on it and said, you know what, for what it's going to cost us to go over there, how many millions, we'll probably just stay home because it's not just renting a space there, guys and gals. I'll tell you what, it's like, okay, we got to
It's in Europe, so they gotta fly to Europe and all their stuff over there.
right all their stuff. Just think of these cranes and these excavators and I mean that are in like how many pieces. I know that some of these cranes 10 loads to get it in, 10 semi loads, and I mean that's some big semis. It's not little stuff, it's big stuff.
Well, on our last podcast too, I mean, I think we touched on the point that Cat's also a little bit behind on their advancements.
So they're trying to catch up.
I feel I don't know the answer, but I feel like they might be a little behind the ball on it, and I don't think they felt like they were going to be able to present what they needed to.
Well, you should
Assumption.
have a talk with
Apologize,
Caterpillar
Cat.
and tell them to buck up like that LeBears or these guys over here that Komatsu did over there with the tunnel stuff.
I apologize, Caterpillar, if I am wrong.
We all love Caterpillar. So it's machinery is great as long as you have two things. Number one, you have the supply of the machineries, right?
Mhm.
And number two, you have the service. If you have those two things, machines are great, but you got to be able to use them. So if they can't have the service or the parts, I guess you don't have a very good product line, right?
Well,
So
Yeah,
and
well, actually, I read into it a little bit here. Zeppelin's actually a local dealer for Cat, so Cat's still going to be there. It's just is one of their dealers, not Cat themselves.
oh,
Probably
okay.
already over in Europe.
Yep.
I would
Go ahead and look.
worldwide, but
Yeah, no, Caterpillars and they're in Europe. They're all over. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably easier for that dealer to go than like their home base.
Well, they probably are just, they didn't want to utilize just Caterpillar was doing it. They wanted to probably push the dealer over in that area so that they could help him or them sell the product that Caterpillar builds, right?
Well, let's talk about Hitachi now.
Oh no, new one, huh?
Yeah, it looks like they came
A
out with a new
sneaky beast.
excavator.
Didn't we talk about Hitachi this last one? Wasn't it Hitachi and John Deere in the X?
a little bit of Caterpillar in there too.
Oh, well, I think it was we were talking about Hitachi and John Deere were separating, right, in the excavators and stuff.
I believe that's what it was.
So because Hitachi and John Deere have been together for many years, and now that they're saying is Hitachi is decided to kind of go off on their own in this deal. Must be a new product line or something, huh?
It's supposed to be a best in class power and speed. And it's supposed to be quiet and roomy. And it says here the excavator runs on 163.6. It runs on a 160 horsepower Isuzu 4-cylinder engine, and it has a max dig reach of 32 feet 7 inches and a max dig depth of 27 feet and 11 inches.
4-cylinder engine. Okay, so now they did was they took a bigger machine. It's weighs 25 ton. Okay, 25 tons. So that's 50,000 pound machine, right? Because tons into pounds, it's double. So if you take 25 ton, put it into pounds, it's 50,000 pounds. So a machine that size that's quiet, 4-cylinder diesel, that's going to be fairly quiet.
Mhm.
So the 4-cylinder diesel's charging the batteries, basically, is what we're saying here. We have electric drives for motors. We have electric drives for the servos for the hydraulic excavator, and it's going to make it way quieter. I would say yes, and it should have as much or more power because electric has got
More.
a lot power, huh?
Probably more.
Probably more
Probably when it
power.
gets hyped because this is just a simple little excavator, it seems like, but then when you look at the engineering behind it, it's actually a sneaky little beast.
You know, they were saying
Quiet.
yeah, it's quiet, is right. And you know what else they're saying? They were saying that they're not getting away from the gas or I mean gas, the diesel or the the look of it from prior because they want them parts to be interchangeable. So it sounds like that same unit they could take and put a diesel drive motor in it basically and pumps and everything else and it would be able to work in kind of the same fashion other than the electric will probably be like you say quicker, more fuel efficient, and basically have a little more power.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
They think that they actually think that with their way that their pump supplies goes, that you'll have better control of your stick and your attachment, which is impressive. I mean, I don't. The things that they can already do with those machines is ridiculous. But
yeah. I mean,
Job for engineers.
amen.
because well, the bottom line is that to run a cylinder, you're running some type of a pump, right?
Well, correct. I just mean like being specific enough that I mean I've watched excavator operators take the beer cap off a bottle. For the love of God, I mean, how do you get a whole lot more accurate than that?
Have better eyesight.
Thread the needle.
There you go. Actually, I think I saw a video of a guy do that too.
With an excavator,
Nice.
Yeah.
had it been a big needle.
No, it wasn't. I couldn't even see the hole in the needle in the video. So
Well,
I feel like it was an optical delusion for me.
yeah, it might have been. I'll tell you that's a different throw starting to do something like that. I did see an excavator that was in Mexico, and this Mexican uh, he would look Mexican, Spanish, whatever. He actually was operating it, and I thought, wow, now this guy is accurate. He had a thumb on it, and he had like a clam, and this lady was standing there. He took her hat off her head. He turned around, and he took her gloves off her hands, right off her hands. He took and he grabbed the dress and he picked it right up off. Yeah, she had a swimming suit
I
on,
was
so
gonna say, where
it
is
was
this
all
going?
good. But I'm just saying, I'm saying that the accuracy behind this, it's
Impressive.
very dangerous. I mean, it's like somebody taking an arrow and shooting that apple off the top of your forehead. You know what I mean? And if they weren't right on, you might get it right in the old noggin. And
I'd rather take the chance with the arrow. That might glance, not just go like a grape. I mean, come on.
that's it was
Have you-
scary. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the? There's competitions in Japan where they stack cocktail glasses with forklifts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, they've got crazy operator competitions around the world, and that one is a really cool one.
They held a like competition for the Guinness World Record. It was wild.
For what was the Guinness World Record for?
Most glasses stacked with a forklift.
Oh, wow. Did they have a clam on it, or was it a what kind of fork? Did just with forks, or how did they utilize them?
They had. It's got a fork, but it's got like a attachment on the front of it that's
Yeah.
like a U shape.
But it just
under it.
cradles it.
So it's
when you
got
stack it.
fingers
yeah.
on it. It's got fingers thing. Grab it.
What I mean,
Yeah.
you're
Well,
just-
they don't grab it. It's just hooking it from the bottom.
right. So I mean, you got that, and then you watch some videos where you got forklift drivers that can't even avoid an entire stack of, you know,
Tires.
well, yeah, tires. I'm thinking of pallet racking entirely, but I mean, it's cool to see the variations and the skills and the talents that take place.
Oh, there's some people out there that can do some amazing things.
He stacked 16 of them.
16 glasses. Now, did he do them in a try and set them one and then another one
No,
center?
They were just straight up.
Oh, really?
One glass inside of another, all the way up 16 times.
Wow.
I feel like I know guys that couldn't do that with their hands.
I couldn't do that.
That's cute. Yeah.
Listen, I can barely crush a car.
Well, you crushed it in the center. How's that sound?
Did good enough, I guess.
Yeah,
It does,
yeah.
Well, that was our last topic. So why don't you send us off, tell them about the next auction, plug our website, tell them anything else you'd like to tell them, and then send them on the road.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray Henry, Colonel Ray from IRAY Companies, IRAY Auctions. We're actually doing equipment talk for IRAY. I want to tell you about the next auction coming up here, which is going to be Wednesday, June 22nd. And that's going to start the simulcast at 8 a.m. Actually, you can go look online prior to it on up till 5:59 a.m. the day of the auction. So we're ready to go out and have some fun. Our website is www.iraymn.com, and we're proud we're proud of all the people that work with us and that sell with us, and we want to thank everybody that actually listens to our podcast. And I do appreciate you guys being out here today to have this time together to actually talk over some of the subjects that we have. We're going to have some more subjects coming up right down the road here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we want to thank you for coming out here. I'm Colonel Ray Henry signing out.
Thanks for the fun. Next time, Troy.
See you later, everybody.
Impressive results all year. Goodbye.
That is what IRA stands for.
Yeah.